everyone. It's great to have you all on today's call. Thank you for joining. And we are going to have a very exciting session today. But before we dive into our topic for today, I would like us to kindly introduce ourselves in the chat. Please let us know what your name is, where you're joining from, and your profession. Okay, so while people are at it, I will introduce our sessions shortly, but I'll just share my screen so we all have an idea of what we'll be doing today. So by way of introduction, my name is Linda Nsifo. I am based in Ghana. I am the convener of the Women in Research, Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning platform, which is an online community that aims at accelerating the careers of women in the research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning space. However, our monthly sessions are open to all. And so we want this space to be an opportunity for experts or people who are new in the field, or people who just want to network, to come on board and join these sessions, which have been very educative and very informative. So I'll share my screen shortly. Please let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay, so I'm pulling up the agenda now. Okay, so we're currently at Welcome and Icebreakers. So as an icebreaker, as we all are aware, today happens to be the last day, last Wednesday in the month of March, but also we are drawing towards the end of March in general, and it's also the ending of Women's Month as well. So I'd like us to share in the chat any woman, any woman figure in your life who has impacted your life greatly, or who has inspired you, or someone you admire greatly who has impacted you in your career or in your life in general. Yeah, please feel free and share. It will be great to acknowledge great women in our lives, even as we round up Women's Month. So I will give us some time to do that. So please feel free to type in the chat. It could be someone very close to you. It could be a mother. It could be someone who has mentored you, preferably a woman figure, as we honor women in this month of March. Okay, anyone wants to give it a go? Okay, so we have a contribution from Paul. Yeah, so he has two women he would like to honor in his life. So his mother and then a mentor, namely Bridget. Great, thank you, Paul. And Paul is a data analyst and an M&E student. Thank you so much, Paul, for sharing that. Okay, anyone else wants to share? I know we're all thinking through, probably there are some of us who have like a lot of people, like a long list of people, but maybe time will not permit you to list all of them. But at least if you have one or two or three or even five, you can list them in the chat. Okay. So we have Hawa Abba. She's an M&E consultant from Senegal. You're welcome. Please, would you like to share or acknowledge any woman in your life who has inspired you greatly, who has, who has helped you in your career path or generally impacted your life as a person? Okay. All right, I think people are still thinking about it. But yeah, the chat is available, so you can always feel free and share as we go along. For the sake of time, we'll dive straight into our session. So I'll stop screen sharing now, and I will introduce our speaker for today. And she'll be speaking on the relevance of data science to research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. So I will provide a profile and then invite her to the stage. Okay, so Hana Hoxha is a data-driven professional with more than 15 years of professional work experience. Hana is certified in Applied Data Science program from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, commonly known as MIT. Currently, she's a PhD candidate at the University of Ljubljana in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Hana has a wide range of expertise in the private sector, namely the telecom industry, especially in market intelligence, monitoring and analytics, product development, and marketing intelligence. Hana has created and later on managed the data unit at the IPKO Telecom. Apart from the private sector experience, Hana has been engaged in several economic growth development programs, responsible for monitoring, evaluation, and learning. She's an experienced trainer in data analytics, statistics, and introduction to data science. So participants, please let's welcome on stage Hana to dive into our topic for today. Please let's feel free and welcome her with a virtual clap. So Hana, please, over to you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's a great pleasure to be here, especially in this month, the month of women, where, we will discuss and I will present the relevance of data science in research, monitoring, and evaluation. And these are like two of the areas that I love and that I'm experiencing. I have a lot of experience. So this is a great topic from my point of view. And I look forward to an interactive discussion. So we'll share the screen here. So ideally, I would go through the presentation, and then in the end, as Linda presented the agenda, we can have questions and answers in the end. So the relevance of data science to research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Linda already presented, so I will not go more in depth here. So I'm a data-driven professional with more than 15 years of work experience. I have started my career in 2006. This is the year where I have graduated from my bachelor's, and my first job was data analyst in telecom industry. And then basically I have stayed in telecom industry for more than 8 years. And I was, as part of being a data analyst, the company grew. The company grew, so the telecom grew. And instead of having one person, which was I, as a data analyst, it was created a unit, a data unit. So I have became a data unit lead, and we were a team of 4 people. Later on, so I have moved from industry, which was in telecommunication, very demanding industry, IPCO Telecom. It is a Telecom Slovenia group, which was the biggest foreign direct investment made in Kosovo. They bought, the Telekom Slovenia group bought an internet service provider in Kosovo. So this is basically how the company grew. And apart from this experience in telecom industry, afterwards I have started to work as MEL consultant and MEL full-time employee, MEL expert, or MEL lead, so far in 3 economic growth development projects. So all these 3 projects were in economic growth, mainly working with the private sector as monitoring, evaluation, and learning. In addition, I have been serving as a trainer and a part-time lecturer. I am now pursuing my PhD at the University of Ljubljana, which is in Slovenia. So I've been offering some courses in this area: data analytics, statistics, and introduction to data science. So just so we know each other better, these are some of my pictures, mainly from professional life, some of the conferences that I went, some of my presentations. I was very active with presentations and with analysis also in the EU level. Lately, I had made an analysis of digitalization, the impact of digitalization in economic development, and I have presented this study. Basically, I have presented this in one of the conferences in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, and to come up to that analysis, a lot of data analysis were behind, where we have used a lot of statistics and a lot of software. So this is just a short intro about myself, so we know each other. Of course, I would prefer to stay in touch with all of you here. I will provide you my contact, and also you can find me in the LinkedIn profile, so we will be in communication. I would really prefer to stay connected after this session. So, data science and research monitoring, evaluation, and learning. I will go through data science, its role and importance in society and businesses and organization. Data collection, data cleaning, data types, questionnaires, sampling, predictive models, and tools. And then I would go further into research monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and where these 2 areas are interlinked. What are similarities between these 2 professions, or between these 2 areas, and what are the differences? In my opinion, if you are a data scientist or a data analyst, you can easily become research monitoring, evaluation, and learning professional, and vice versa. Anyway, they have their own differences, but the major skills are the same. So, what skills are needed for both areas? In terms of skills, where do these 2 areas interconnect? Both of them need very, very strong analytical skills, very good writing and reporting skills, business acumen or domain knowledge. If we work in the industry, it can be telecom or it can be banking and finance. We need to have the business acumen or the domain knowledge of the industry. But if we work in the international development project that has to do with the private sector development in one particular sector, for example, in agriculture or in wood processing, we really need to know the industry in these 2 sectors. So it's very important to have the business acumen developed or the domain knowledge of the industry, what's going on in that specific country or market that we work. Presentation skills. As a data scientist, we are up to a point data geeks, but we need to present our final product to our target audience. So it's very important that we do have good presentation skills. As research monitoring and evaluation, we need to present our results to our donors. We need to present our results and our impact assessment result to our DCOP, COP, or to our donor. So it's very important that we have good presentation skills. So all these skills are really much needed, and to be good in one or another, we need to have these skills. To be a data scientist or a data analyst or research monitoring and evaluation professional, we need to be curious by nature. We need to be pragmatic by nature. So this is usually a personality type, a bit of skeptic by nature as well. We need to have many questions behind of what's going on in the market. And curiosity is something that comes along with the personality in order to be good in these fields. So data science is a new term, but in the same sense as Columbus discovered the new continent close to 1,000 years ago. This is a quote said by a famous professor. Nevertheless, even though as a profession, it is being now asked, there are vacancies and it is being demanded a lot now. The skills that were required behind were used even long time ago, where, like this example, like 1,000 years ago. Anyhow, 2 decades ago, data scientist as a job title did not exist. However, there was always someone doing the work apart from doing what it's his or her regular work. So some people in the industry already were cleaning, organizing, and analyzing information. But as a career path, or as a unit, or as a profile, it has been recently in the market. Same applies for research monitoring and evaluation. So quite new in terms of professions, in terms of job vacancies. Nevertheless, there was always someone who was dealing with data, who was analyzing data in order to make either business decisions or to present results, project results to the donor or to other stakeholders. So what are their differences, basically? So data analysts or data scientists, these are more in the business world, in the private sector world. And now recently, they started in the sector associations. So basically now sector associations have started worldwide to have a data unit in it, or to have a data analyst in the association who will analyze the data for the whole sector. On the other hand, research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning is a job in the organizations and more in international development programs. What is here the difference? Definitely, in the business world and in the private sector, things go more quickly. So there is a lot of, let's say, the dynamism, it's not the same as in the organizations. So in the organizations, research monitoring, evaluation, and learning will follow the project throughout the whole cycle, while a data analyst or a data scientist in the business world, in the private sector, they just have to deliver quickly, ad hoc, and on demand. So it is much, much faster. So the target audience is totally different. When we produce a data product or a data report to a CEO of a company, and where we produce a report, a quarterly report, or an impact assessment report to our donor. CEOs in the industry prefer short and to the point reports. On the other hand, donors prefer more long and more elaborated reports. Skills needed are similar, but not fully the same. In data science, we need more programming skills. So Python is recently a tool that is needed a lot, especially in the last 3 to 5 years. It is demanded a lot. Before Python, it was SQL. So tools are changing all the time. There might be another one coming up in 5 years. These are programming tools. These are related to computer science. So data science requires more coding. If you want to become a data scientist, you need to have coding skills. But if you want to become a research monitoring, evaluation, and learning professional, no coding skills are needed to get in the market. However, in my opinion, they would be beneficial, because either with or without Python, we will be analyzing data. So even if it's with Python using coding, or if it's with other statistical softwares, we are just using a tool to analyze a data set. So basically, what are the data science skills? Python, as I said, data visualization, Microsoft Excel, business savvy, SQL, social media mining, and high-level math. Some of these skills are very much applicable for research monitoring, evaluation, and learning. I think data visualization applies for both. So it's good to present our findings with dashboards, but for both areas. So I think there is a lot of relevance, and there are a lot of areas where our data science and RMEL interconnect with each other. Business savvy, Microsoft Excel, high-level math. So all these skills are needed and have to be interlinked with both professions. I think if you are a good data scientist, you can be a very good research monitoring and evaluation professional. And if you are a good research monitoring evaluation professional with some additional courses in coding, especially in Python, that you can learn in 2 months. I needed 2 months to learn Python. You can be a good data scientist, and you can solve good data science solutions and problems. So what do we mean? Data science in a nutshell. We have statistics and maths. If it's statistics that we need in RML as well, and Python, a bit of coding, we move to data analytics. If it's statistics, Python, and modeling, when I say model, I mean prediction models. And we do predictions in RML because we need to predict how things will go in our project. So we can use also these, even though it's not a requirement usually to get the job. It's called machine learning. But when, in addition to these three, statistics, Python model, and domain knowledge, so domain knowledge or industry knowledge, then this is basically the whole picture of data science. We need to have all these skills in order to be a good data scientist. Regarding monitoring, evaluation, and learning, we have a lot of data tasks in ongoing monitoring, evaluation, and learning. So we start with initial needs assessment. So this is the work when data fits in. And sometimes we have to do projections about how indicators will move, how our exports will go up, how our jobs will go, how our interventions will bring a more market linkages in between buyers and sellers, depending on the project domain. But these are mainly from the economy growth domain. I'm now I have experience in 3 economy growth projects. So then we have a baseline study that we need to collect data, to analyze data, to present the final report. Then we do evaluations, mid-evaluations, then we do final evaluations. So a lot of data tasks that can be part of monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and usually are part of monitoring and evaluation learning as a process in the international development projects. So in project monitoring, we move from the activity to impact. So our activities are planned to move to the output, then from output to the outcome, and we have outcome indicators, then it's purpose indicators, and then we want to make an impact in our market or in our sector. This is regular monitoring, but when we do impact studies, we really need to work with complex data and to do complex design. And this is where data science comes in, fits in. And another thing is DCD MRM, which is Donor Committee Enterprise Development Monitoring and Result Measurement. This is a standard that is usually applied in many international development projects related to MEL, but not necessary in all of them. So what is data science? It's a multidisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to derive insights and inferences from structured and unstructured data. We have here all the steps to follow this structured approach. The approach is very much structured. We as data professionals or RMEL professionals, we prefer structure. We prefer a process. We are process designed people, and we prefer a step-by-step guide. So basically, we need to understand the problem, to define the dependent and independent variable, to define train and test data, data cleaning, exploratory data analysis, multicollinearity and course of dimensions, measure the outcome of the training set and the testing set, explore other algorithms, consider ensemble techniques, visual output, basically, explainability or report of a visual output. Some of these steps of the structured approach are applicable only in data science currently in the market. Some of the steps are also the same in the research monitoring and evaluation. For example, steps 6, 7, 8, and 9 here are applicable only in data science tasks or in data solutions. Other steps are applicable in research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. So this is one of the steps that it's not very much asked when we work in research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. This is multicollinearity, which is a statistical concept where several independent variables in a prediction models are correlated. Basically, this is presented by using a scatter plot, and we need to see the correlation between variables in the scatter plot. So it is a regression model. So we see throughout this model that it is in data science, we see if one variable depends in another other variable. This kind of tasks in my professional development of working now more than 8 years in as RMEL was never asked. But this is more of a data science solution and the data science role. It's good to do it, but it's definitely never asked from a donor. So it's a bit more in depth. When we talk about data science, we go more in predictions and modeling predictions. Step 7, which is assembles techniques, are one of the machine learning approaches for improving the model by combining several models. It helps to increase the accuracy of the model and reduces the variability of prediction. These all can be used while we make predictions in the international development projects. We have two approaches for predictions. One is the decision trees and one is the random forest. Decision trees are up to some point similar to result chains. Result chain is an important tool in monitoring, evaluation, and learning. To draft result chain, we do not need a data set. Usually, in monitoring, evaluation, learning, as a professional, we do a group exercise and we draft a result chain of how do we expect things to move. And then we use this result chain for monitoring purposes. For decision trees, we need a data set. Basically, it goes the other way around. We can build a decision tree from the data set, but we can build a result chain from the internal discussion, which is more of a hypothesis, and then use this tool to monitor our progress. And throughout the way, we collect data related to this result chain. And ideally, after some time, we build a data set about a specific result chain. So this is how a decision tree looks like. Are tree-based models that help in making a decision in both regression and classification problems. To make a business decision, we use a hierarchical structure and split the data set into a smaller subsets. So basically, like in this example, what do we mean with result chains? So this is a result chains that is used in research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. We link our activities with expected changes, then measuring result. When we start measuring results, especially going through growth and impact level, we try to build a data set with all the results that we have built. And then we can go the other way around. And when we have the full data set, we can run the decision trees as a prediction model to see if there is a correlation between one variable to another variable. Another machine learning algorithm that it is used in data science, more in the industry, but I didn't see it used so far in the monitoring and evaluation and learning in international development projects, is the random forest, which is a type of algorithm where the base models are decision trees. And the algorithm uses only a subset of randomly picked independent variable. So basically, in the random forest, we have more decision trees. We don't have only one, but we have more decision trees and more results, and then the averaging of the final results. So this is basically used to make predictions more. Some steps of the structured data science approach are applicable for research and ML. Which ones? I have listed here. So we have understanding the problem statement, which is the first step that we need to know when we try to measure the impact assessment of a specific intervention that we work, or if we want to do a midterm evaluation of our economy growth project where we work as MEL. Step 2, we need to define the variables, independent and dependent variable. Step 4, we need to do the data cleaning. Even if we do a simple survey, a baseline survey, we need to check and clean the data, define the missing values, and define the outliers. Step 5, this is a very crucial step in the research monitoring, evaluation, and learning, which is exploratory data analysis. So here we have all the results of the data analysis, and then visual output. How do we present this? Either we use dashboards, or we use a report, or we go and present it, or we use infographics. So it has to do with visual outputs. However, as you can see in RMEL, we do not go into algorithms. We not go into the coding, prediction models, and in the machine learning or assemble techniques. So this is something that only data science as a discipline focuses more, at least so far. And as RMEL professionals, it is not asked from us to go into these technical solutions or into these calculus, coding, or prediction models. So where data science is applicable, basically everywhere. In the state security, in the telecom, this is where I have experience. I have experience in this sector. Banking and finance a lot, search engine optimization, digital marketing, health and robotics, logistics and gaming, and many, many other industries. So it is now becoming either a person, one person, or it is now becoming a unit, a data unit lead. The most needed tools in data science and RMEL. So for advanced Excel, it is required in both in data science and in research monitoring, evaluation, and learning. We need to know not only basic Excel, we need to know advanced Excel. There are some functions that are considered to be advanced, such as lookup function, pivot tables. So these functions are considered to be advanced. SPSS is more needed in statistical analysis, but also in research monitoring evaluation when we do surveys. Python for data science, it's needed only in data science, or now it's being a new tool. It's required in data science. Power BI, more in data science. Tableau in data science and RMEL, and COBA Toolkit is currently being used a lot in research monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Nevertheless, apart from all the tools, we need to know that data analytics, it's not just about the software. We can learn these tools. We need 2 months to learn a tool if we want to. But data analytics is rather about the ability to spot patterns in data and transform raw data into valuable data in order to make a good business decision or a good business prediction or a good or a good accurate result. So this is very important. Data collection tools and RML tools are the same. So I think all of you are already experienced with these tools. I mean, this is more of a basic what we need in research and evaluation. So we have quantitative tools and qualitative tools, focus group discussions, stakeholder consultation, in-house surveys, outsource surveys, in-depth interviews, observation, company records, and secondary data or secondary data sets that we get and we analyze. So everything starts with data. If we don't have data, we need to collect them. And then our task starts. Sample size and margin of error, it's basically the same. So it is the same terminology. We have to do with the sample size and with the margin of error. When we want to solve a data solution. So we need to, when we don't have data and we need to collect basically. So sampling is the process of selecting a sample that adequately represents the description of the population. We need to have a representative sample. If we don't have a representative sample, then we can go into all algorithms and we can go into all machine learning tools, machine learning processes, but the result or the outcome will not be correct. So poor data quality, even if we know all the tools and if we know coding, if there is poor data quality, the outcome will be not sufficient and it cannot be used. So the margin of error needs to be not more than 5%. Aggregation as a terminology is very much used in RMEL, but it is very much used also in data science. Nevertheless, in the monitoring, evaluation, and learning, aggregation is the process of combining the results of all the indicators to get the final result. We need aggregation for reporting purposes. When we prepare reports to present the progress of our project to our donor, what do we consider during the aggregation process? Basically, it's very important that we consider overlaps. We need to define overlaps and to define double counting. We cannot double count and present to our donor. When we talk about aggregation in data science, it is slightly a different terminology. What do we mean with aggregation in data science? Aggregation in data science is the process of combining the results of all the algorithms to get the final prediction. Basically, in data science, our focus is to get the final prediction. In the research monitoring evaluation, our focus in aggregating data is to get the final result that we present to our donor. So in data science, we get the original data set and then we divide it and simulate 3 other data sets and run predictions using machine learning techniques and then find the final prediction. So this is the difference. One has to do with more with results and presenting the final results when we talk about aggregation in RMEL. Nevertheless, when we talk about aggregation in data science, we want to come to the final prediction. And we need coding here. We need Python codes to come up with the final predictions. So these are some relevances of data science in research, monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Definitely, to conclude, there are similarities, but there are also differences. But as a highlight, in a nutshell, data science can be used more for prediction, while research, monitoring, evaluation can be used more to progress, to monitor the progress and to come up with the final results. Nevertheless, the skills are similar, even though for data science, we need more programming skill and we need coding skill. But to conclude, I think that if you are good in one, you can easily, with a bit of hard work and a bit of training skills that you can get, you can become good in RMEL as well, or vice versa. This was all for today's session. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know either now or we can stay in touch. You can see my email in the screen. So it's hanahoxha@gmail.com. So I would really prefer to stay in touch, especially if you are a RMEL professional or if you would like to become an RMEL professional. I would like to stay in touch so we can discuss topics related to our profession. Thank you very much. I will stop.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hana. Personally, I liked your approach, how you defined data science and, you know, tying that into research, monitoring, evaluation, and like clarifying what the differences are and the similarities and where they overlap. Yeah, so I think that was really brilliant. Participants, please, this is your moment to ask Hana any questions related to her presentation. If you have any mind-boggling questions, please, this is your moment. Don't hold back. Please ask her now, or as she has generously offered to be in touch with you, or you can reach out to her via her email. Yeah, so you can type in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and ask Hana. We have a few minutes until the top of the hour, so I hope we all enjoy the session. I see Benjamin Kihika, he said thank you, so he's grateful for the presentation. Okay, then this T Majani, he said, thanks, Hana, for that explanation. I've always wondered how the data science and M&E fields were connected. Very informative. Thank you, T. Okay, any more? You can also comment. Okay, Cassandra said, this was great, Hana. I am an RML specialist looking to get into data science, and seeing how one skill leads into the next was great. I am just trying to figure out now good ways to transition, whether self-taught or certifications, etc. Hana, would you like to comment on Cassandra's message about her transition? So she's transitioning and she wants to know whether, like, which path to take, whether to go through the self-taught or like the do-it-yourself kind of approach, or like study to get certifications. Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so you're trying to transition from RMEL to data science, or the other way around?
Yeah, I think from her intro, she said, I am an RML specialist looking to get into
RML.
data science. Yeah, I think she's moving
Yeah,
from RML.
yeah, definitely. If you're an RML, you have the basic skills. So this is very important, and you can easily learn other skills. I would advise that you take a course. You can search online there are online courses in Coursera that are related to data science. And you can also learn Python. It's crucial. Either you take a course, applied data science online. There are many courses online. Just go to Coursera. That they are either free of charge or very cheap. So you can take a course, and these courses are done using Python, or you can have learned the tool. Basically, you can learn the tool Python, focus in Python. There are courses, 2-3 months courses. So this would be ideal. Take these courses, and then you can easily jump in the market.
Great. Cassandra, I hope your concerns have been addressed. Okay. Priscilla Danso says, thank you, Hannah, for this educative session. Okay, great. Great feedback. Thank you all for your comments and sharing your thoughts.
You know, when you're not starting from zero, when you already have some background, it's hard to kind of figure out what is needed.
Yeah.
But thank you
There
so
are,
much for those thoughts.
Professional courses. If you do a master's in the data science, that's even better. You know, if you have 1 year to dedicate to learning new skills. But even if you have less time, 3 to 6 months, you can take professional courses. MIT, which is the #1 school in US in data science, offers applied data science courses, and all the modules are done using Python. It's very demanding, but it is the best, and it is #1 worldwide, and it is offered online. So I suggest you consider this option.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do we have any more questions or anything that we would like Hannah to address? Okay. If not, then I will end with a few announcements. So in the chat, I've shared a link to a feedback form. So it'll be great to get your feedback on how today's session went. And you can also provide recommendations for topics that you would like us to discuss as part of our monthly meetups. And then I would also entreat us to follow us on social media. So Women in RMEL is active on LinkedIn. So I'll share the link. And then we are also on X, formerly Twitter. So I'll drop the link there too. You can follow those platforms for updates on what follows after today's session. I think that's about it. So Hannah, do you have any final remarks before we close down the curtains on today's session?
I don't have any remarks. Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you very much, Women in RMEL. Great initiatives to continue with these topics on monthly basis. I don't have anything. I just would like to thank you for organizing this. It was wonderful, and wonderful participants. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. Feel free to communicate with me even after this session. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you too, Hannah. Hopefully this will not be the last time we'll invite you here. So yeah, we look forward to having you again. Thank you all. Thank you, Afaubu. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Haua. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Priscilla. And thank you, T. Majani, and everyone who joined today. Thank you so much. It's been a great session. Wishing you a very great end to this week. All right. So bye.
Bye.
Bye.